If you ever lost a fight in ABI because your teammate didn't hear your call out, this video might be for you. Extraction shooters are not meant to be forgiving. 1 second of hesitation, one unclear communication, one "wait, what did you say?" and bam, back to the lobby you go. Most players think it's that their aim that cost them the fight. And honestly, sometimes that might be true, but sometimes it's not just mechanics. Sometimes it's about hesitation, miscommunication, or a call that wasn't clear enough in the moment. And when I started paying attention to those small things, I realized that something in my own setup needed to change. Recently, I've been using the FIFINE AM8, and what stood out to me wasn't just how it sounds, but how it changed the way my comms felt in the game. Extraction fights get chaotic really fast. You're processing footsteps, holding angles, anticipating third parties, evaluating positioning, and then you're also trying to relay that same information to your squad. And that's where control matters. The AM8 is a dynamic microphone, which means it naturally smooths out the harsh peaks. So when you're in a high pressure moment and your voice spikes, it doesn't distort or clip, it stays in control. And that control makes your callouts even cleaner and more efficient. It also comes with a foam windscreen that helps reduce background noise. So if you got a fan running, mechanical keyboard clicking, some room noise, it doesn't bleed into your comms as aggressively as other weaker mics do. There's less noise, more clarity, and more efficiency. And in extraction shooters, clarity and efficiency is a strong weapon. What I genuinely like though is the flexibility. If you just want something simple, plug the USB straight into your PC. You can even plug it into your PlayStation or any console you have. No complicated setup, no extra interface required. But if you ever want to level up further, maybe you want to start streaming and more advanced audio improvements, the AM8 also supports XLR. That means you can plug it into a sound mixer or an interface that really pushes the audio quality even further. So it's not just a simple microphone, as it can evolve and grow with you. The monitoring jack is another underrated feature. You can hear yourself in real time. This way you can instantly know if you're too quiet, too loud, if you're peaking, no second guessing mid your raids. And a tap to mute with an LED indicator. That's a small feature but gives you big wins, especially in high stress situations. There's RGB too, 3 modes over 10 colors, clean look without being over the top to complement your rig. But honestly, what changed for me wasn't the lighting. It was how much more controlled and effective my communication became. And that made me rethink how important communications are in games like Arena Breakout Infinite. Arena Breakout Infinite is not an arcade shooter. You don't get a reset after a bad push. Every raid carries risk, your gear, your time, your investment, and that's what makes extraction shooters different. The stakes are higher, and when the stakes are higher, mistakes hurt more. Most squad wipes don't happen because everybody suddenly forgot how to aim. Aiming is actually the easiest part of the game. The losses happen because information was not relayed properly. One teammate thinks the enemy is upstairs, another thinks they rotated outside, someone swings early, someone hesitates, and the result? Everybody failed the operation. Think about this. You hear footsteps outside a building, you call, there are 2 sets of footsteps outside, but your mic peaks slightly or it sounds unclear. Your teammate then says, 1 outside. He swings early thinking it's a 1v1. He gets knocked and also thirsted, and now it's a 2v3. That entire raid just shifted because one word wasn't delivered clearly. And that's how thin the margin is for error. Extraction shooters are information wars. You're constantly processing footsteps, distant gunshots, doors opening, rotations happening off sound alone. If your squad comms are clean and decisive, chaos is reduced and can give you big wins. If they're cluttered, delayed, or unclear, the chaos just multiplies. And chaos is lethal when you only get 1 life in an extraction shooters. At lower levels, aim can carry you, but at the higher levels of gameplay experience, everybody can outshoot you, everybody can out-aim you. The difference maker in your gunfights will be your coordination with your team. Short, controlled callouts win fights. There are 2 on the right, 1 is knocked, let's hold this angle, let's rotate. No overlapping voices, no yelling, no confusion. Just plain clarity, and clarity builds that trust with your teammates. When your squad consistently hears you clearly and confidently, decisions happen faster. Less asking of what, less hesitation, less second guessing, and the hesitation in extraction shooters is very deadly. Because while you're clarifying what your teammate just said, the enemy is already acting, the enemy is already pushing. Extraction games punish delay harder than most genres. You rotate late, you get pinched. You miscommunicate a flank, you get collapsed on. You hesitate on a push, you get pre-aimed. That shows that the margin for error is very small. And yet, most players optimize everything except this. They research ammo types, they memorize loot routes, they min-max builds, but they ignore the one tool that connects the entire squad. Clear communication doesn't show up on a stat screen, but in Arena Breakout Infinite, it decides whether you extract or you just spectate. So here's who I genuinely think the AM8 makes sense for. First of all, for competitive squad players. If you regularly run trios or squads, clarity builds trust. When your teammates consistently hear you cleanly, decisions happen faster. Less hesitation, less confusion. Second are for aspiring creators. If you're making content like myself around Arena Breakout Infinite, USB makes it simple. Just plug and play. You get clean audio right away. And if you want to upgrade even further, the XLR option means you don't have to replace your mic. It just evolves with you. And that flexibility matters. Thirdly, are players taking their setup more seriously. The AM8 looks really clean. It has RGB if you want to add more personality, and it doesn't feel or look like a low quality mic. But here's the real question. You'll spend hundreds of thousands in-game on armor and ammo, you'll min-max penetration values, you'll study rotations, you'll optimize your sensitivity, but you're giving out squad comms through a basic headset mic that peaks every time when you raise your voice. That's the disconnect that doesn't make sense. In extraction shooters, your loadout isn't just what you carry, it's how effectively your squad operates under pressure. After switching to the AM8, I noticed my callouts became shorter, more cleaner, more controlled. Less of me saying, "Say that again?" and more immediate reactions from my team. And that alone changed how fights felt. So if you're serious about Arena Breakout Infinite or any extraction game for that matter, communication is something worth investing in. To know more information about the FIFINE AM8 AM8, kindly check the provided link in the description down below. If you made it to the very end of this video, thank you so much. I know this is not the typical video that I usually make, but this was a big opportunity that I shouldn't miss as I've collaborated again with Game. Do let me know what mic are you currently using in playing Arena Breakout Infinite or any team-based games for communication, and do you agree that communication wins more fights than just plain mechanics? If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new here. Thank you so much again for your time, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.